And when I didn't have something to believe in that was greater than me, you could actually see it within me. I was lost, didn't know where I was going. I was doing reckless things. I wasn't doing anything to truly serve anyone. Now, I don't believe that mistakes or problems are mistakes or problems ever. Not that problems or mistakes can make life difficult or stressful, anything of that nature, but all the problems and the reckless things that I did and not really following, let's say, a God, it didn't allow me to move forward. I was stuck in a stagnant area of my life, mentally and physically. Although the moment I began to believe in something bigger than myself, that moment is the moment that my life became bigger than what I was doing. Welcome back to the Prosperous Life Podcast. This is Braiden Belnap. I'm a transformational life coach, entrepreneur, and each week I bring you a transformational message that allows you to become your authentic self, create your vision for life, so that you can live a prosperous life while making an impact. With that in mind, I really want to thank you. Thank you guys that show up every single week, the ones that have reached out to me, talked to me, let me know what I could do better, let me know the things that I've done right, so that I can grow. Today, I would encourage you, if you find some sort of transformation, to share this with a friend. That way you and I can make an impact on individuals together. With that in mind, let's go ahead and dive in. Today, we're talking about believing in something greater than yourself. Talking about believing in something that's greater than yourself allows you to live a prosperous life. You're thinking of something bigger now. And you're huge, by the way. So when you're thinking of something bigger than you, it's something that the human mind, I don't think, can truly and fully understand. Now, with that in mind, once I didn't believe in something greater, and it's not that I didn't believe in it, it's that I didn't really comprehend it, think about it. It wasn't necessarily my truth at that time, and I believe it was my truth. I just didn't have the awareness to make it my truth. And when I didn't have something to believe in that was greater than me, you could actually see it within me. I was lost, didn't know where I was going. I was doing reckless things. I wasn't doing anything to truly serve anyone. Now, I don't believe that mistakes or problems are mistakes or problems ever. Not that problems or mistakes can make life difficult or stressful, anything of that nature, but all the problems and the reckless things that I did and not really following, let's say, a God, it didn't allow me to move forward. I was stuck in a stagnant area of my life, mentally and physically. Although the moment I began to believe in something bigger than myself, that moment is the moment that my life became bigger than what I was doing. It allowed me to recognize what I was capable of becoming. It allowed me to set myself free. It allowed myself to feel free within me. And I want that for you guys as well. You see, this is really you, whether this is really for you, whether you're an atheist or whether you live with God every single day, every step of every single day. It doesn't matter whether you believe in God. It doesn't matter whether you don't. What matters is that you believe in something. I am a firm believer in looking up to something that's bigger than yourself, whether it's the mountains and nature, whether it's the sky, whether it's a bird, whether it's a sun god or a moon god. or whether it's Jesus, or whether it's Buddha, or whether it's the gods of the Hinduism religions. This is up to you. And the moment you start to believe in something greater than yourself is the moment that your life will transform. I am so excited as we talk about this. As truly, people unfortunately don't live for something that's bigger than themselves. Unfortunately, even the individuals that do live for God on a day-to-day basis, some of them, or I would say a majority of them, have forgot the power that God holds. Instead of thinking of themselves the way that they see themselves, or I should say, instead of thinking about how God views them, they think of how they view themselves. They live in a perception of themselves that is not serving them or the world. And we talk about today and the opportunity of believing in something greater. Believing in something greater that allows you to transform your thoughts, your behaviors, emotions, your life, the way you treat people in the world, the way you see the world. And through those small, small things, and through the small perception of, I'm going to believe in something greater, you become greater. Whether it's for yourself, whether it's for your family, you do become greater. I want to highlight here that God can truly be anything for you, and it holds the same power. So just believe in something. Bring God into your vision of life, right? What we believe ourselves to be is minuscule for what God believes in you. Think about it just for a moment. God gave you a body. God gave you a soul. God gave you everything that you have. So if he gave you all that you have, don't you think that there's a pretty big purpose for you to be here? I would say so. How would there not be? You're capable of greatness. You're capable of amazing things. The only reason that you second doubt that is because you're listening to your own thoughts. You're not listening to God's thoughts. God can work within you if you allow it to be. You can create a vision for life through not your perspective, but also God's perspective of you. And if you live your life through what does God believe in me? What does God believe that I can become? Your world transforms from the inside out. So bring God into your life, bring a mountain into your life, bring Buddha, bring Jesus, whatever you believe in, and ask yourself, what does God believe in me? What does Jesus believe I can become? What does Jesus believe I can achieve in life? What does Buddha believe in me? What does Buddha believe in me becoming or creating the vision of life? This is your life. Although, recognize everything you have here is temporary. The thing that you take with you is your character. It's your knowledge. So if you develop the character of being consistent with yourself, the world, others, and you take the deliberate action, make the deliberate choices in life, your life will become amazing. I'm 22. That means if I live to 80, which is pretty young, guess what? I have like 3 lives to live. So do I need to achieve everything tomorrow? No, this is a journey. Be persistent, be consistent with yourself, and set something big. What you believe you can accomplish is minuscule to what God believes you can accomplish. Unfortunately, most people have an identity where they value themselves low. And when you value yourself low, you get low value in life. Life gives you what you ask for. So if I ask for $1, I'm going to get $1. If I ask for $1 million, I'm going to get $1 million. And that carries over to other aspects of life, right? If I ask for happiness, that's not enough. But if I ask and I take action to make it to where I have happiness, I will become happy because I'm developing and setting my life up around habits, thoughts, behaviors, actions, emotions that bring me happiness. Now, God values you so high, like I mentioned, that he gave you a body, he gave you a soul. He believed that you had a huge purpose in life. So you can accomplish that destiny that he's set out for you. You can make that impact. The question is are you going to consistently see yourself through your eyes, or are you going to see yourself through God's eyes and become that greater individual in life? Fulfill your destiny, fulfill your purpose. Just because you value you low today doesn't mean that you have a low value. God has a high value for you. God has big thoughts for you. God has big emotions for you. God wants you to win. God sees something huge for you. So if you can see past those walls through the power of God, you will become something great. You will become something big. You will become and achieve the dreams that you look for in life. So create your life vision. Once you have something ahead of you, right, you can start to take action. This is not about I'm figuring it out. No, choose something, right? Take a moment here. Pause the podcast or write down this journey that I'll take you through. Give yourself 1 to 5 minutes in different topics that you would like to create in life, whether it's business and career, finances, mental, spiritual, emotional, material items, finances, relationships, relationship with self, hobbies. Give yourself 1 to 5 minutes. Without limits, think of, what does God believe I can achieve here? What does God believe that I can become here by the end of my life? And write down everything that comes to mind. Everything. If it's finances, I want to make 100,000 a year, 1 million a year, 50,000 a year. If it's finances, I want to invest X amount of dollars each year, a percentage. If it's material items, I want a home with a white picket fence and a boat and a motor home. Whatever it is to you, my relationships, I want to have 1 date night a week, 2 date nights a week. I want to make sure I spend X amount of time with my kids every week. This is your life. Create it. Please cut that out, Megan. So create something miraculous. And after you're done with that, you've created your life vision. Just understand after that, take about 5-10 more minutes with everything. You don't need to mix it up by section anymore. And ask yourself, what brings me a purpose in this world? Does this serve me or does it not? And understand whether it's coming from your authentic self or not. Because some of the goals that you'll have in life are coming from somebody else's hope and dream for you. This is your hopes and your dreams and your vision for life, nobody else's. So make it you. Make it authentic to yourself. So create it. God gave you senses. So after you create your life vision, understand that God gave you senses. God gave you touch. God gave you vision. He gave you smell, hearing. He gave you sight. So create a vision board. Goals are supposed to be established, and a vision is supposed to be established with your senses so you can feel everything before it even takes place. That's the purpose of a vision board. Goal is just writing down. That's good. Don't get me wrong, but we want to encompass everything. We want to know really what it's like before we even get this. So create a vision board, have a framework, and set a certain amount of goals, whether they're big or short-term goals or long-term goals, and establish them. Understand exactly and write out exactly what you specifically want to achieve. Make sure that it's timeable, measurable, specific, and make sure it has purpose. And write these things down. Put a picture with them. And every single day, imagine yourself living that. Imagine yourself achieving the goal. Imagine what life will be like. See it, feel it. What are your emotions? God gave you senses for a reason. It's not just to be useful on a day-to-day basis. It's so that you can bring in the things that you want to in life. Once you experience how amazing that is, your subconscious mind's going to go to work. And since it's so amazing, you are going to want to find it on a conscious and a subconscious basis. So put your mind to work 24 hours a day for yourself through a vision board. This is your life. Create it. And visualize everything. Visualization and your senses and your vision isn't just limited to what do I want to create for life and what's my vision today. Visualize everything. How do you want the next day to be? Are you grateful for the next day? When you wake up in the morning, is it, I just want to hit the snooze button and go to sleep? You have another day. Do you know how powerful that is? You have an entire another day to create anything that you wish. And quite frankly, you could be dead the next day. Quite frankly, your family member could be. Quite frankly, your friends could be. Quite frankly, an influencer in this world that you really look up to could be dead tomorrow. The one thing we have is time. We all have 24 hours a day, and we never know when your life is going to end. You never know. So visualize everything. Create it every single day. Don't hesitate to visualize what you want your next day to be like. You know it's going to be a good day because you're alive, but how good are you going to make it? It's all up to you. You have a soccer game, a football game, a sports game. Visualize it. How do you want it to play out? You have a meeting. You have a sales meeting. You have a coaching session. You have work. You have a meeting with your boss to talk about a promotion. Visualize it. Feel it. Bring in those senses. That way, when you go into the moment, you know exactly how it's going to play out. You have a game plan. When you establish a game plan, you already know what it's going to be like. You already understand the result. Your chances of winning go so much higher. Life is created moment to moment. If you bring the future into today's moment, the chances of you getting the thing in the future moment is much more higher. If you win in the small moments, you'll win in the big moments. If you win in the moments now, you'll win in the next moments. If you're happy in the moments now, you'll tend to be happier in the next moments. So what's this moment going to be like? And what's your next moment? What's your life end result going to be? Are you living up to that expectation today of yourself? If not, that's cool. Set up a vision board. Set your vision for life, short-term and long-term. That way you can create your vision for life in the future. And then visualize every single moment. Understand how you want every day to play out. Understand how you want the big moments to be and the small moments to be. And through there, you will create an extraordinary life. It's all up to you. When you create a vision, understand you're always becoming something. God believes so much in you. God believes that everybody here, this is bringing into my belief of Jesus. Life is bringing in you the opportunities, whether through problems or opportunity, you to develop character that is Christ-like. So let's talk about that. Even if you don't believe in Jesus, or whether you do or don't, I'm pretty sure we all can agree on that Jesus did some pretty extraordinary things. And as I talked about it before, you're always becoming something, one. Two, God doesn't, you have a destiny to become, let's say, Christ-like and live life to being something absolutely amazing. But he doesn't guarantee that. You just don't get to get the result. It takes work. It takes study. It takes reading. It takes internalizing and personalizing things. It takes being a good person, and becoming is a journey of a lifetime. Everything's temporary here. Everything. The only thing that is not temporary is your character, your knowledge, the things that will never leave. Become something extraordinary. Again, I know that some of you are valuing you so low, yet God gave you a life. God gave you the opportunity to become great. So are we just going to throw that opportunity away? Because that's the biggest opportunity forever. The opportunity that you get to live today, the opportunity that you may live tomorrow, the opportunity that you may live in the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years, that's the biggest opportunity, because you get to become who you are destined to become if you choose. You're always becoming something. Whether you create it or whether you're created is the good question. You see, you have a canvas of life, and you've had hopes, you've had dreams for you, you've had a vision for you, you've been told who to be and what to become in this world. So your mom hands you a paintbrush, your dad hands you chalk, your teachers hand you a pencil, your siblings throw colored pencils at you, your wife gives you a crayon, and then they all tell you what they want done. And then you try to create it. And it's a big damn mess. Why? Because you've taken into consideration everybody else and what they want for you. You've created it, and now it's a mess, and now it's a problem. Your life is a mess. Why? Because you've been listening to all the other voices but your own. You've been listening to all of other buddies' voices but God's. So what if we took a moment, painted white all across what you've already done? It doesn't take away your past. There's a lot to learn from. A lot to learn from. So let's keep that with us. Let's just paint over it. Now, between me and you now get to ask yourself, who do I want to become? What does God believe that I can become? And now you get to pick up the art tools that you choose. You could do just pencil. You can take in pencil and crayon and paint and chalk. Maybe it's not even done that way. Maybe you just decide to take a picture, print it out, and put it on the canvas. It is all up to you and what you believe you can become and what God believes you can become. And when you put out all the voices, it becomes quiet. So you can hear yourself. You can hear God. And the most amazing thing is all those people have something to teach you. So you can take in the things that you've learned from them that serve you along the journey you want to create. It's very important to be authentic to yourself and who you want to become as a person. That will create your life. And if you're authentic as a person, you show up for yourself 100% each day, your life won't look so messy. And when life doesn't look messy in this moment, it looks organized and pretty and beautiful. Your life's going to be beautiful, organized, and absolutely amazing. It's going to be a dream. This is a process. This is a journey. Starting in this moment today is what's going to allow you to create something extraordinary. So create your story. Take a moment. If you want to pause this podcast again, or if you want to come back to it, just write this down, but write your story. Who have you been? What has your vision been in the past? What have your behaviors been? In your story, are you the villain? Are you the nobody? Are you the person that's on screen once in the entire movie? Or are you the hero? You are destined to be an everyday hero. You don't need to be the person making $1 billion to change an entire industry. You can be an everyday hero. And yes, you can be the billionaire changing an industry to transform the world. Yes, you are capable of becoming that, and God believes that in you. You can become an everyday hero today in your story. So write your story. Take your life vision. Take your vision for life and take the visualizations on a daily basis and write your story. Who do you want to be on a daily basis? What do you want to be and who do you want to become at the end of your life? And how do you want to live in the middle of? God has given you a beginning, a middle, and an end. There's 2 promises in this world. You're born and you die. That is it. It is up to you on how you create your life, the middle of your story. So write it. Write it down. Bring in the senses of life and really get an understanding of how you want life to be. Life isn't YOLO anymore. Life is an intention. Life is a beautiful thing. And if you set an intention every single day for what you want to create, your life will be created based upon your standards and you will become the person you want to be. It's not you only live once. If you're like me, I believe in another life. I believe death is just another beginning. I believe death is an opportunity that if you've deliberately made the choice to learn and grow and to transform your life and take action, that when you die, you take what you've built on a soul level and you take it with you and you serve in an amazing way. It's not you only live once. If you only live once and you live that way, your life might look a little messy. Your life might look a little stressful and messy, disorganized, maybe depression and sadness. But on the outside, you're smiling. If you take that and put that away, put it on the shelf, take learning notes from it when you were living that way, and you decide to live with intention and change your story for who you want to become and what you want to do in this world, your life will transform one day at a time. God inspires journey. Don't forget that. There's a reason you have a birth. There's a reason you have a middle, and there's a reason you have an end of death. God's also given you the opportunity to write the different chapters in your story. So you may only have a one major beginning and a one major death and a one major middle. But you can choose your chapters. So even though you may have lived 20 years, 30, 40, 50 years, you choose at any moment to close a chapter and begin a new one. This is your birthright to create your life. This is your birthright to choose your chapters in the world. This is your birthright. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people may have some influence in the way your book's written as there's circumstances that take place that we cannot control. And that's very well understood. Although it's up to you to become and create what you create from those situations. Put you first. Again, don't underestimate time. We're all given 24 hours a day, but we don't know how many days we have. So just because we have a long life, like for instance, what I said, I'm 22. If I live it till 80, which is still a young life, right there in the self, I have 3 more lifetimes, essentially. That doesn't mean I get to sit on my phone, not serve myself, not serve the world. That means that I need to be persistent each day. That doesn't mean I go from 1 to 100 in a year. This is a journey of a lifetime. Put you first. If your glass isn't full, you can't serve another individual. I forget how the quote goes. It says something of this nature. I'm not sure who wrote the quote, although it says, "A heart that is full can love everybody. A heart that is half full can only love themselves as much as they can only love the world as much as they love themselves." Put yourself first. Happiness doesn't just come. Fulfillment of life doesn't just come. Money doesn't just come. Material items don't just come. Relationships don't just come. Mental health doesn't just come. Spiritual health doesn't just come. Emotional health doesn't just get to come. Transformation doesn't just come. It's a choice. If you want something, you work for it. Put yourself first. Take ownership. Understand what your needs and wants are and make them happen. If you're sad and depressed and you want to be happy and you're fulfilled and you're wondering why you're so sad and depressed, you're doing nothing. I'm saying this out of pure love. You're not going to be happy ever. Life is only going to get worse if you don't decide to start putting yourself first. Life is only going to get worse. So stop complaining about sad and depressed and how your life's so hard. If you want to be happy, then start taking the actions and start changing your thoughts, behaviors, emotions so that you can be happy. Period. There's no questions asked. If I ask you, how does a depressed person act, you can tell me. If I ask you, how does a happy person act, you could tell me. Depressed people tend to sleep in, not care as much about life. Happy people tend to get up in the morning or even late, and they'll still open up their window, smile, and say it's an amazing day. Starts with the simple things. And once you put yourself first and you're fulfilled with life, just like that, you can begin to influence and look out for others. You now have a heart full where you can take it and love others. And when you love others with the high, the wave, you look amazing today. You look beautiful. Hey, I love your smile. I love your outfit. Thanks for doing X, Y, and Z. You were really good at that. Once you start to serve and love others, you then can influence themselves to start to put themselves first. And then you can influence them to go be an amazing person in the world, which from there they'll influence the others. This is a journey of a lifetime. Serve people fully, full-heartedly. And don't forget, I lived without guidance for a lot of years. And when I say a lot of years, I'm 22, so I'm fairly young. And you can identify my years that I had guidance. You can identify my years where I haven't had guidance. You can definitely tell the years that I was following a God, and you can tell the years that I was not. Again, didn't mean I didn't believe in God. I always have. But you can tell when I was following and not following. You can tell when I thought I was small, and you can tell when I thought I was big. You can tell when I valued myself so largely, and you can tell myself when when I felt like I had no value to serve the world. So serve greatly. If you enjoyed this podcast of believing in something greater than yourselves, share it with a friend, share it with a family member who can hear this message. If there's one message that I want you to take out of this, it's that if you don't believe that you're high value, if you don't believe you are enough, that is okay. Recognize that something greater than yourself, like God, gave you a life. He believes in a higher purpose for you. He believes that you have such a high value and purpose to serve on this world. He believes that you're great, and he believes that you're capable of becoming Christ-like. This is your time. Don't stop. Be persistent. If you're not happy and you're depressed, sad, or you're not achieving the financial goals you have, or you're not achieving the material items, or you're not achieving the career goal or business goal, that's okay. Just recognize that persistence is key, and this is a journey of a lifetime. If you need any of the important notes, go to the description below. With that in mind, subscribe, leave a review. Let us know what we have done right. Let us know what we can work on. That way we can be better for you moving forward. Tag me at Braiden Belnap on social media. I would love to hear your takeaways, your perspectives. With that in mind, you have a